This is the ballot paper for the presidential elections in Venezuela this 28th of July. The unpopular autocracy cannot legitimately win these elections and has to reach deep into its bag of dirty tricks. This ballot shows some of them. On the top left we have the autocratic ruling party, PSUV. It is putting forward the incumbent president Nicolás Maduro. The first row is then made up of 9 other smaller and larger parties that also support him. The PSUV was established at the time of Hugo Chavez, who undermined the rule of law and subjugated key state institutions. The electoral authority is also compromised. The question is not so much whether the autocracy uses dirty tricks, but which ones. Its general strategy is divide and rule. It abuses the levers of power to make it impossible for the democratic opposition to participate in these elections or to confuse voters. At the same time, it encourages wild candidacies by corrupt opportunists and splinter groups. Again, divide and rule. The unified coalition of the democratic opposition parties has this card here, the Mesa de la Unidad Democrática. It's called the unified platform these days, but hey, you take what you get. Its actual candidate is María Corina Machado, but she was denied her right to participate in these elections. She then tried to register a substitute candidate who was also rejected. Finally, after several attempts, the opposition was able to register a previously unknown diplomat, Edmundo González Urrutia. The opposition's strategy is now to unite all of its votes behind this unity candidate. It wants to achieve a clear victory at the ballot box and verify the votes by deploying its own election observers so that the autocracy cannot covertly falsify these elections. Some of this has already worked out well. Since registration, 2 other opposition parties have backed Edmundo González, and Machado has also been able to transfer much of her popularity to González. According to the polls, he would currently get about twice as many votes as Maduro. The autocracy used other levers too. Let's take a look at the remaining candidates, which according to polls together account for only about 5% of the votes. The most important parties behind the unified opposition coalition are Machado's Venezuela, which has been banned from registering as a political party since 2015. Then there's Voluntad Popular, Primero Justicia, Acción Democrática, COPEI. But the regime intervened in these parties. In other words, the Supreme Court of Venezuela arbitrarily removed the actual leaders of these parties. They were replaced by opportunists and corrupt individuals who are now appearing on the ballot paper as candidates for these parties. Such politicians who claim to be independent but in fact collude with the interests of the autocracy are often harshly rejected and called alacranes, or scorpions. The ousted real leaders of these parties support the unity opposition and Edmundo González. Incidentally, the Communist Party of Venezuela was also intervened in because it did not want to support Maduro. So while the democratic opposition just about managed to get 1 card for a replacement candidate of a replacement candidate of its actual candidate, a number of less popular candidates were given easy access. It is perhaps not surprising that these third-party candidates preach reconciliation, promise an end of polarization, of overcoming the conflict, etc. All the while, a dictatorship is being built. Somewhat popular figures are the comedian Benjamin Rauseo, the pastor Javier Bertucci, and the lawyer Antonio Icarri.